Before the headlines, before the wars, before the world knew the name Hamas, there were people. People living their lives, raising families, struggling, dreaming. And then, everything changed. The birth of an idea. In the 1970s, Gaza was a place of survival. The Israeli occupation made daily life difficult. Checkpoints, restrictions, arrests. But in the middle of all this, something was quietly growing. A network of charity groups, mosques, and schools, built by a group inspired by the Muslim Brotherhood. They weren't a military group. Not yet. They were caregivers, teachers, preachers. They called themselves a movement of resistance, but resistance at the time meant helping people survive. The Intifada that changed everything. And then, a spark. In 1987, an Israeli military vehicle collided with a Palestinian taxi, killing 4 men. To the people of Gaza, it wasn't just an accident, it was the final straw. Within days, protests erupted. This was the beginning of the First Intifada, an uprising against Israeli rule. Palestinians had had enough. They didn't have weapons. They had stones. And in the middle of this uprising, Hamas was born. Hamas, more than a militant group, Hamas officially declared itself in 1988. But it wasn't just another militant group, it was also a movement of faith, of politics, of identity. To its followers, Hamas was a shield, protecting Palestine's soul. To its critics, it was a dangerous force that would bring only bloodshed. It was two things at once, resistance and relief, politics and power, war and welfare. But with every battle, every attack, and every Israeli response, the movement became more radical, more violent, more determined. 2006, when Hamas shocked the world. Then came the moment no one expected. In 2006, Palestinians held democratic elections, and Hamas won. Not just a few seats, an outright victory. It was the first time Hamas wasn't just in the streets, it was in power. But power comes with enemies. Brothers turned rivals, Hamas versus Fatah. For a brief moment, there was hope. Hamas and Fatah, the two major Palestinian factions, could rule together. But that dream shattered quickly. By 2007, they were at war with each other. Hamas took control of Gaza by force, and Palestine was split in two. For Gaza, this meant isolation. Hamas was in charge, but it was also trapped. Israel and Egypt imposed blockades, cutting off food, medicine, supplies. Electricity became scarce. And war never stopped. For the people of Gaza, war is not just a headline. It is life. It is waking up to the sound of drones. It is knowing that at any moment, everything you love could disappear. What now? The future of Hamas and Gaza. So where does this story end? With peace? With more war? Or with something in between? Because beyond politics, beyond headlines, beyond war, there are people. People who wake up every morning and choose to keep going. Who choose to love, to build, to hope. And as long as they do, the story of Hamas and the story of Palestine will never be just about power. It will always be about people. Hamas, a story of power, pain, and people.